Hello, everybody. It's the Film Optimist. We're doing a ranking today. We haven't done a ranking in a while. Um, I ranked last time. I ranked every Mortal Kombat character. I ranked every Disney movie. I've been putting this one off, and I forgot why until just yesterday. I saw Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters. So that means that I'm going to be ranking every MCU film. Now, ground rules. What constitutes an MCU film? What's the difference between MCU and the Sonyverse, and even before that, the Fox movies. What constitutes, what counts as an MCU film? Um, there are some exceptions to this, but the MCU, it's its own thing. Starting with Iron Man, and then moving on from there. We'll talk about some others here and there, but they don't count. There's going to be some that are exceptions to the rule, because I'm weird like that. So let's go ahead and discuss this. I know this is going to be very divisive as well, but let's talk about it anyway. Yeah, we're going worst to best as always. Number 36, The Incredible Hulk. It's a very silly reason why this is so low. It's not even a bad film. I honestly don't think there's a bad, outright bad film in the MCU. There are a lot of confusing ones, that we'll talk about more. The only reason this is so far down, even after the multiverse has become a thing, and that's a whole another subject. Um, the Incredible Hulk, um, stars what the fuck's his name? Edward Norton, as Bruce Banner slash the Incredible Hulk. It's the first time we saw it. It's the second movie in the MCU, and damn near all of those characters have been recasted except Abomination. So it's like that's what kind of ruins its like aura for me. I do love the idea that this is like a multiverse film. Like, you know what I mean? What's his fucking face? Edward Norton is just a different Hulk, different Bruce Banner from a different timeline. I like to think that. And the Tony Stark that we saw was our Tony Stark, but it was just him talking about getting Hulk, but not that Hulk. Um, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. Anyway, I think it's a wonderful film. I have a lot of fun with it. It was going to be tough to follow Iron Man, and I think it did so very well. Number 35 is Iron Man 2. Again, it's like recasting. Recasting Rhodey, which was the right call. Terrence Howard was fine. But it's like, was he that good? Was he that good? Not really. Um, I do like that they have someone else playing him now. God, who's playing him now? Don Cheadle. That's right. I'm glad that Don Cheadle took over. I think he fits the character of War Machine so much better. Um, yeah, Iron Man 2 is the recasting, and then there's just a lot going on. I do love the retcon of the little boy that's saved by Iron Man with the Iron Man mask is Peter Parker, Spider Man. It was a fan theory, and they were like, fuck, let's roll with it. Tom Holland was like, I love that theory, let's do it. And they're like, okay, yeah, that's totally fine. I love that. Again, not a bad film, just Oh, here we go. Um, Number 34 is Thor. Um, Thor is boring. It's Thor is a bore. I think out of phase one, it's probably the weakest film, honestly. Um, like objectively. Like me personally, I like it better. I like the comedic moments. I think Chris Hemsworth is a damn good Thor. Whether he's being serious or not, I think he's perfect for the role. And same thing with Tom Hiddleston as Loki. So I'm like, this is great that we have yeah, all these characters showing up. We got Natalie Portman as Jane Foster. I probably should have did this ranking before I talked about the deaths. So, um, we got Tom Hiddleston. Uh, there's a lot of great characters. Um, it's just kind of boring. Um, man, Thor: The Dark World honestly might be a little bit more boring. Speaking of Thor: The Dark World, I guess I like Thor: The Dark World a little bit more with Jane grabbing that like power core, and it's really hard to like remember what exactly happened. I just know they fought off against like the scrolls or something. Some shit happened. Really, I think Thor is more memorable because you it's phase one. The Dark World is just kind of like there, just kind of exists. Thor was like the worst franchise for a while, and then I would say the one that took the cake on that one is number 32, Ant Man. A lot of people don't like Ant Man. I have a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of people have noticed. I will say a lot of people have noticed that Marvel, the MCU, has a tendency to do the whole um, what's it called? Like the hero and the villain are like it's like a mirror of the hero, right? And the hero the mirror of the villain. They're they're reflections of each other. They're it's like the opposites, but like very similar. Like we're not so different, you and I, kind of shit. Um, like in Iron Man, for example, the very first one. It's Iron Man, and it's a giant Iron Man, basically. I forgot who that, what his name is. It's played by a really good actor, Jeff Bridges, Obadiah Stane. Um, he's on this giant, fucking superpowered exoskeleton suit. Um, yeah, like what the hell. Um, and then in Hulk, you got Abomination, which is pretty damn similar. Iron Man 2 is different. Um, Thor is the villain is Loki. Brothers, pretty similar, not the exact same, but Captain America is Red Skull. That's kind of different. The Avengers, it's Loki again. I think Thor might have a different villain too. Honestly, I don't remember though. Um, but a lot of like similarities. Ant Man was the first time where I noticed this is just an evil Ant Man. It was Yellow Jacket. It was very in your face, kind of like this guy is just like kind of like super like just whatever. Like who cares about this guy? Um, you're looking at Ant yeah. So that was Ant Man. I had a lot of fun with it, but I just noticed like, this could have been better. Speaking of movies that could have been better, number 31 is Captain Marvel. Some people might be like, why is this movie so high up? A lot of people do not like Captain Marvel because of Brie Larson. And I don't know why exactly what exactly she did that upset people. They were setting up Captain Marvel to be a huge heavy hitter character. And then the fans kind of like soured it for Miss Larson. She was just like, what the fuck? Like, why am I even doing this now? Is what I feel like it. That's what I get from it. And I had fun with Captain Marvel. There's a lot of stuff in Captain Marvel it's funny, but it's kind of like fucked up too. Samuel L. Jackson, spoiler alert, gets his eye scarred. It shows how he got his eye scarred, and it's about like an alien cat scratching his eye, and like it's just a scratch, right? but he gets infected really bad and he goes blind. And it's like he said it in an earlier film, like he lost it in like a great battle. So now you're making him out to be kind of a joke, and like he's lying about that shit, which like it fits the MCU perfectly because it's kind of a not a very serious series. When it does get serious, it's like, oh shit. But a lot of times it doesn't. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's funny. It's fun. Um, Kind of to its own detriment sometimes. Captain Marvel was really boring, and Brie Larson is kind of cringy at first, but then she really did grow on me. I would say like the middle to last half of the film, I really enjoyed. Um, I enjoyed myself. I thought it was cool. I like how they said it in the '90s. I like how the Stan Lee cameo is Kevin Smith mentioned. That's really cool about Mall. He's reading the script to Mallrats. Um, it's really really dope. So yeah. Number 30 is Thor: Love and Thunder. This film right here is the most tonally confusing film in the entire MCU. It does not know what it wants to be. It starts, spoiler alert, with the death, spoiler alert, of a little girl, and it creates the villain for the film. Very serious and sad stuff. A little girl has died of starvation and malnutrition, thirst, whatever. There's so much that's going on with this. It's like it's so sad, and you feel for our villain, and our villain becomes the God Butcher, and he's killing the gods, and it's like you're kind of rooting for him a little bit, but it's kind of like over the top and a little bit. Then we just go into jokey territory immediately. Then we go back to Serious Town where the children are getting abducted, and then it goes to silly and haha goofy and oh shit, Jane has cancer, and now it's funny again, and now it's like, what the fuck are we doing here? Now look, there's screaming goats. Why are there screaming goats in this film? That is such an outdated meme. Like even at the time of the release, it was like this is not a funny meme anymore. Giant screaming goats. Oh my god, dude. Like very just oh my god. What the hell, dude? That's Thor: Love and Thunder. A lot of people are probably tearing their hair out right now because they're like, why? We'll get there. Number 29 is The Marvels. I watched this one on Disney Plus. I had no I didn't really care to see it in theaters, but it did look like a fun film. I think a lot of people hated it early on for no reason. Um, I thought it looked really cool, and I had a lot of fun with it. I do like Kamala Khan. Oh, I forgot to mention this. I haven't seen any of the TV shows. I've not seen a single one, not even the Netflix shows. I have not seen a single one of the MCU shows. So I can't I don't have that to pull from. So like a lot of the stuff I'm like, what does this mean? Like what I don't understand. And I have to have someone like explain to me, oh, this happened in WandaVision, this happened in Loki, this happened in this, and oh my god, that's so and so from this. Oh, this happened in What If. And I'm like, I have to watch all this shit to understand. I understand why people are fed up with Marvel because it's like it's called Marvel fatigue. And people are just like, oh my god. And then they're starting to like really poke holes in like plot holes that were already there in earlier films, but because it's so much, it's like, oh my god. So I get it. I totally get it. That being said, I had a lot of fun with the Marvels. Yeah, number 28 is Doctor Strange. Um, Again, had a lot of fun with this one. I thought be very interesting to see how they pull that off. And also for context, I don't know a lot of these characters. Iron Man, I was like, they're making a movie about Iron Man, and I think a lot of people had that same thought. Iron Man, and then they made the movie, and they're like, oh my god, this was amazing. Um, I didn't really know too much about Thor. Didn't know shit about Ant-Man. Nothing about Captain Marvel at all. Um, didn't know anything about any of the Marvels, Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, and all that stuff. And didn't know anything about Doctor Strange. And I thought like, oh, this magician guy who cares. It was kind of like the Iron Man effect. Like, oh, this is really cool, and I like this character, and I can't wait to see him in more things. Benedict Cumberbatch is dope. So yeah, Doctor Strange. Number 27 is Captain America: The First Avenger. One of my favorite movies of Phase One. Um, Captain America is another one where I was like, who cares? And then I was like, this is really cool. Throwing himself on the grenade, a really nice period piece, and then the epilogue, the last part of the film is really what hits you hard like a ton of bricks. And we'll talk more about that. We'll talk more in detail about these films, but you guys know what I'm talking about if you've already seen it. But yeah, it's just it's so good. Number 26 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. I like Ant-Man and the Wasp more than I guess Captain America: The First Avenger is kind of a not a cheesy one. It feels weird how it's shot with the period piece kind of stuff. It just feels like they're trying to make it feel like dated, and they kind of pull it off a little bit, but you're not fooling me all the way. Ant-Man and the Wasp I really liked. I don't like what they did with Taskmaster, but it's like they could do worse, and the multiverse is a thing now, so like you can go so many different ways with that. I do like the inclusion of the Wasp as a character, Janet Van Dyne. I thought it was better than the first one. Simple as. 25 is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I thought, again, it was better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. I thought it was a step in the right direction. It's a shame what happened with the Kang Dynasty. Really sucks. But it's kind of exciting, too, because now we have to go in a different direction. And where are we going to go? Who's going to be the big bad guy? There's a lot of rumors floating around, and that makes it really cool. And honestly speaking, when they made this movie, they made Kang look like such a fucking joke in the end of it. So honestly, it's great that they just got Kang out the way. It's wonderful. And you know what? Maybe he'll show back up in the future. Jonathan Majors is a fantastic actor. Get his shit together. Let's go. Let's do this again. Let's go. Number 24 is Black Widow. Too little, too late. She should have had a film in Phase 1, maybe in Phase 2. Phase 4? For real? We're Phase 4? The start of Phase 4 was Black Widow. That's bullshit. That's quite simply bullshit. You can't do that. You can't do that. That's such horseshit. And I'm very upset about that. And spoiler. This is after she died in Endgame. Sacrificed herself. Really, really, really stupid and shitty and dumb. I did have fun with it, but too little, too late. So that's why it's pretty far on my list. It's above these other ones though. Number 23 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And the rumors swirling around this one made me think like this is quite possibly going to be better than another movie that's going to be on the list later on. I was like, this could be better than that one with all the rumors that were swirling around this one. Now, a lot of those rumors did not come true. But a lot of those rumors did not come true, but it was still a lot of fun. Doctor Strange going up against Scarlet Witch, really dope, making her a villain. And like justifiably so, understandably so, I should say, not justifiably, but understandably so. I thought that was really cool. Number 22 is Iron Man 3. Now, what's up, buddy? Okay. What's up, bro? Imagine he just attacked me on camera. He's bloodthirsty. You're being such a lover, boy. You feeling better? He got his nails clipped the other day. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. No, I skipped a bunch of them. I'm sorry. Iron Man 3. Fuck. He's such a distraction. 22 is Iron Man 3. I heard so much shit about this one being terrible, horrible, garbage, awful. And I finally watched it and I was like, what are people talking about? This film rules. This film is so cool. Seeing Tony Stark without his suit, killing it, just whooping ass, kicking people's asses. Going up against, I like the backlash on the Mandarin. I like what they did there. They unveiled that Ben Kingsley, um, is playing. Ben Kingsley is the Mandarin. Everyone was like, "How dare you cast a British man as the Mandarin?" What? It's Ben Kingsley, right? Yes, and it's like what? And then you come to find out, oh no, he's just an actor that's um, playing this. But then they also were like, the Mandarin is a person. Um, they called him the Mandarin. They wanted to get away from the Fu Manchu Chinese Mandarin stereotype, but also doing it in a clever way. And I think they did so. And they would come on later on to address that more further. So I think that's really cool. Number 21 is Iron Man. This is the one that started them all. If someone came up to me and said their favorite movie is Iron Man, MCU movie, I would totally understand. Such a great start to the franchise. There's just other ones above that really rule for me, like the one that I gave away. Number 20 is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I'm glad I didn't say what number it was, but yeah, Captain America: The Winter Soldier, really great espionage film. It's like the Captain America series has gone more into like the action espionage route. Um, with Winter Soldier, Civil War was kind of like its own thing, kind of a bonus Avengers movie. This one was kind of in a way too. We got like a lot of people. We got the debut of Falcon. We got Black Widow hanging out with Captain America a lot. Um, it's a lot of fun. The Winter Soldier, Bucky. Um, just I was like so blown away with how good it was. I think we saw that in theaters. And I was just like, wow, this is a damn good movie. This is so damn good. Um, so yeah, that's Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Number 19 is the Avengers. That was an event, wasn't it? That was crazy. Remember, that's back in 2012 when we thought it was like going to be the end of the world. Um, and we got one of the best films that we ever thought we'd ever see. People were like, they're going to make the Avengers. They're setting up for the Avengers. Oh my god, they're talking about the Avengers. And then finally the Avengers happened. They're like, oh my god, it's crazy. People were flipping out, and the Avengers was so good. Um, really, really good. Uh, a lot of people probably thought there's no topping this. Like, how can you top this? How can you get better than this? Number 18 is Avengers: Age of Ultron. I heard a lot of bad things about this at the time of release. I hadn't seen it for years. Finally, we get Disney Plus. My wife and I were like, we're gonna go through this entire like marathon of Marvel movies to finally catch up. And I got to this one. I was like, wow, it's gonna be such a joke with Quicksilver and haha. And I was like, wow, these characters are great. This whole thing is awesome. I love this film. Why do people hate this film? I don't understand it. And now people love it in retrospect. And they're gonna do the same thing with Phase Four. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, Phase Four. I love Phase Four. Like, okay, whatever, dude. That's actually that. Wow. Just come to think, we were mad for no reason. I gee, yeah, I wonder. 17 is Captain America: Civil War. The debut of Spider Man. My favorite superhero of all time. I love Civil War. I love it's like basically a bonus Avengers movie. Iron Man versus Captain America is dope. It's so dope. What more can I say about it? Um, Number 16 is Thor Ragnarok. People sing the praises of this film like crazy. Thank you, Taika Waititi, for saving the Thor franchise. People were now like laughing because haha, you ruined it with Love and Thunder. They wanted more of that. They said more of that, please, and he gave too much, and they were like, too much. He's like, wait, that's what you asked for, though. That's what you wanted. You said more. Um, Ragnarok is so good. It's such a great film. Putting Thor in space was the right thing. Um, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. I love the whole like the concept of as Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I thought that was gonna be really cool if they kept on that that track. And we never really got to see that as a film itself, which is kind of a missed opportunity, honestly. Um, but yeah, Thor Ragnarok was that was an event too. That was really crazy. Number 15, Spider-Man: Homecoming. I think Spider-Man: Homecoming is a great way to debut Spider-Man without giving us the whole Uncle Ben with great power comes great responsibility shtick over and over again. We've already seen it. He's already been rebooted once. Let's do it in a way that's more interesting, and I think they did it very well. I also love the villain they chose, Vulture. That's dope. Just putting him in the MCU now is the right call, and Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man in my opinion. He's the best blend of both. I think I love Toby and Andrew as well in their own right. I do. I love all of them. I love Spider Man. I get emotional if I think about it too long. Spider Man's really great. Number 14, Spider Man Far From Home. Damn good sequel. Mysterio, like, oh my God, there's so many great things. And Far From Home is so good. So good. Oh, so good. Number 13 is Black Panther. That was it's a damn good film. It would have been this high even without Chadwick Boseman passing. It was it's a damn good film. I don't know what else to say. There were some moments, people would break apart the Killmonger Black Panther fight with the bad CGI. Yeah, it's pretty bad, but I think everything else made up for it. Killmonger is so good. Yeah, Black Panther. I guess I liked number 12, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, more than Black Panther. That, for some reason, doesn't feel right, but at the same time, the more I think about it, it does, because Shang-Chi is really good. Really good film. This one's confusing, and a lot of people are going to tear their hair out, and I'm kind of questioning it myself right now. Number 11 is Eternals. Did I like Eternals more than Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings? Did I like Eternals that much? I know a lot of people hate Eternals. I think it would work better as a series. Almost top 10? That doesn't make sense to me. Did I like it that much? I did like it more than other people did. I really enjoyed it for what it was. But that high? More than Shang-Chi? More than Black Panther? And Iron Man? Like, all these other films, I'm just like, whoa. I'm trying to think about it in my head. Eternals. Eternals has one of the funniest. So there's a joke going around where every Marvel movie be like, "Hi there, I'm Skippy McDoo, Flippy McDoo," and then then it fades to black after the credits. Um, that happens in this one. Spoiler alert. Harry Styles shows up as Eros, Thanos' little brother, and they're like, "You're Eros, Thanos' little brother," and he's like, "Yep, that's me," and that's basically it. It's like, you guys, Harry Styles is in the MCU now. Like, oh shit, fucking sign me up, dude. I'm pumped. I can't wait to see what he does. I'm like, what the fuck is Eros gonna do? Who's this little goblin fuck with him? And then he gave a little sneak peek of Blade too. That's gonna be exciting. We'll see what happens with that one. Um, God, Eternals that high up? I think because people shit on it so much, my expectations were so low that it fucking skyrocketed this film to like the top of my list. It had to have. This feels like a spite pick almost. Like it really does. Because more than I mean, maybe the ramifications of what it could possibly mean were like the intricacies and like, oh, like what could this? Wow, what does this mean for the MCU? Oh, what are they? Oh, like I don't know. Number 10 is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Um, this one's really important to me. It's not just because of Chadwick Boseman. I've talked about it before. My aunt Christy was a huge MCU fan, and we saw this film after she had passed. Um, I think this was the first. Was this the first one that released after she passed? Yeah, it was the last one. No, no, there's actually like three, I think. I don't think she was able to see Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. But Thor: Love and Thunder hit because of Jane Foster's cancer. My aunt passed from cancer, stage 4 carcinoma. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever hit even more because Chadwick Boseman died for real of cancer in real life. It wasn't just a character dying of cancer; it was a human being that we lost, and that's what hit really hard. Um, I loved everything else about Wakanda Forever too. I love Shuri getting the mantle. I love the what's his name? I don't want to say I don't want M'Baku, um, the leader of the mountain tribe, the Jabari. That's my best friend's name. Um, I love M'Baku. I think he's so dope, and I love this film, and I love so much about it. So many different things. I love Namor, making Namor Namor. His character is really cool. Killmonger showing up, just a bunch of shit they did with the film that I'm a really big fan of. Um, yeah, it's really really dope. I love Ironheart. I love what they're doing with Ironheart. I can't wait to see more of her. Um, so that's Wakanda Forever. Here we go. Here comes the fuckery. Okay. Um, number 9's Deadpool 2. Now wait a minute. Hold up. You said no Fox films. No, none of this. None of this. Well, with the introduction of the newest one, Deadpool and Wolverine, um, the first two kind of retroactively become that, right? And how so? How does this work? What do you mean? Because Deadpool, it works for Deadpool. He breaks the fourth wall. He's been mentioning the MCU since the first film, so it makes kind of sense that like he's always been connected. He's always been in that universe. Um, he's made mentions of other universes as well, but it's like really like on the nose. Like, and now that he's officially over here, Deadpool's a part of the MCU. So Deadpool 2, why is it lower than Deadpool 1? I just like the first one better. The second one was cool. The second one was really cool. I mean, it's this high up, right? It's in my top 10. Um, but yeah, Deadpool 2 wasn't as good as the first one. That's the next one on the list. It's number 8. Great introduction to the character. I knew of Deadpool and I knew how much like the internet loved Deadpool, and I was excited to see what could be done with Deadpool. Like when Deadpool came out in Origins, not a lot of like the mainstream nerds knew about like how fun Deadpool could be until like a lot of the comic book stuff started getting circulated. And they're like, oh, he's really cool. And Origins really screwed him up, and a lot of people already like the real hardcore nerds already knew this. So it was great that we finally got to have an actual Deadpool. Number 7 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I feel like it's the weakest of the Guardians of the Galaxy films. Um, it is great. It's this high up, right? The Guardians of the Galaxy were a band of misfits that nobody saw coming. Nobody saw any interest in these characters whatsoever. dropping that trailer was like, okay, this could be fun. You know, they got Chris Pratt. You know, they got Batista. Bradley Cooper is voicing. Vin Diesel's voicing. Oh, that's Zoe Saldana. Cool. What awesome. And they just exploded. It's like, wow, this is a great, fantastic film. Fantastic blend of fun and lightheartedness and emotion and just comedy and like just oh, it's so good. It's so good. It was the MCU's Deadpool, you know, before Deadpool. It was like well, this is unbelievably good. There's no way that they could make anything better. And Volume 2 came out and they're kind of right. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was better. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that was really good. Number 6, hot off the presses is Deadpool and Wolverine. I couldn't put it above the other films. I couldn't. But it's so good. It's so good. I can't spoil anything. I know it's gonna be months from now. It's 2025 by the time this video comes out. But I still don't feel comfortable spoiling anything. I'll say this: it's a great love letter to the Fox. It's a great send off to the Fox universe, and a great like love letter to that. And a huge, huge love letter to the characters of Deadpool and Wolverine. The only two that have played Deadpool and Wolverine. Um, and I'm so happy that we got to see them back together again. Wonderful experience. Number 5 is Guardians of the Galaxy. I already said enough about that one. Just so good. Number 4 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Fantastic send off. Very sad, bittersweet ending. But yeah, I was sobbing throughout this whole fucking thing. I was like, holy shit. Like it really hit me hard. And like the villain makes you hate him. It's like he's that damn good. Um I was so mad in that movie and so sad and then laughing and it's the first MCU film. They wanted to get it in right before Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool was going to show up. It's going to be the first R-rated movie. We're going to get the first F bombs and whatever, you know, with Deadpool and they were like we're going to drop in a little sly F bomb before before Guardians are gone out of here in the most innocuous way possible and it's beautiful. Um, Star Lord, Chris Pratt sitting in a car, and Nebula doesn't know how to open the door, so then like he unlocks the door, and she's like, "Okay, now like they're like fight like arguing about it," and then she's like, and then he unlocks the door, and he's like, "Okay," and she's like, "Okay, now what?" He's like, "Get in the fucking car." It's so funny. Oh my god, it's so amazing. Number 3 is Spider-Man: No Way Home. Now going back to the Deadpool argument, how is Deadpool allowed to be on this list? But what about the other Spider-Man movies? What about Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man? No, because those are in their own respective universes. I was like debating on whether I should because now you know Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and all these other characters, these villains are canon in the MCU, and this is a great love letter to the Sony verse and the Spider Verse and so many, just so many amazing things. Oh man, I get so emotional about this one too. I love Spider Man so much, and this is hands down the best live action Spider Man film we've ever had. Oh man, it's just so good, you guys. It's just so good. If you haven't seen it, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. It's so good. It's a film. I've said this since I watched it. It is a film filled with fan service, but in the best way possible. And they didn't just do it to do it. They did it with a purpose, and it flows beautifully. And I can't wait to see the future of Spider Man. It looks bright no matter what. I love Spider Man so much. Number 2 is Avengers: Infinity War. The snap, the blip, the everything. Just Infinity War. I said Ward, but Infinity War from top to bottom is the best. One of the best MCU films of all time. Only to be outdone by number 1 Avengers Endgame. It's called Endgame. And a lot of people feel like after Endgame, it really did decline. And I want to talk about that real quick. My list is done, but let's talk about the state of the MCU, shall we? Let's talk about. So let's look at Phase 1. People said Phase 4 was terrible. Um, there is Phase 5 and Phase 6 are already set up. Phase 5 is going to end in 2025. And Phase 6 is going to start a couple months later. Let's talk about this. This is the Infinity Saga. Um, Phase 1 is Iron Man. Damn good start. The Incredible Hulk, awesome. Iron Man 2, a little bit too soon, honestly, for a sequel, but it did come out 2 years later. So these two, the first two were in 2008. No films in 2009. So 2010, Iron Man 2. Thor, which is again boring, but it's still like kind of respectable a little bit. Captain America, the first Avenger, cool, cool. The Avengers, the end, right there, perfect. Amazing, lovely. I love this. Awesome, cool. Phase 2, Iron Man 3. Okay, starting off with a threequel. Okay, it's interesting. That's a choice. Thor: The Dark World. Bad. I mean, objectively, boring. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Damn good. Damn good. One of the best. Guardians of the Galaxy. One of the best. Avengers: Age of Ultron. So damn good. Great ending, right? No, Ant Man. Yikes. That's a weird ending. That's an awkward ending. After Age of Ultron? Oh, okay. Okay. Phase 3 has so many movies. Phase 3, this might be the strongest phase. Captain America Civil War. Damn. Out the gate. Doctor Strange, pretty good follow up. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Damn good. Spider Man Homecoming. Holy shit. Thor Ragnarok. Oh my god. Black Panther. Whoa. Avengers Infinity War. Oh my god. I said Ward again. Ant Man and the Wasp. Whole, pretty cool. I like it. Captain Marvel. Okay. Avengers Endgame. Fuck. And then Spider Man Far From Home. Great sequel. Weird to end the saga after Endgame, but So then we're going to Phase 4, the Multiverse Saga. This was going to be called like the King Saga or whatever it's going to be called. This is the one where people are like, Marvel's dead. We got too spoiled with Phase 3. You see how many bangers we had there? Let's look at Phase 4. Black Widow. Like I said, too little, too late. Weird one to start off on. It's a prequel film. It's too little too late. It's an awkward one to start on. I enjoyed it, but I understand. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, I love it. I think it's a great movie. Eternals. I apparently love it so much that it's number 11 on my list, but I can understand why people don't like this one. Spider-Man No Way Home, beautiful. Beautiful. Doctor Strange, The Multiverse of Madness. This one had mixed reviews, but I thought most were like positive. Or maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. I like Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. Thor: Love and Thunder, weird, weird film, very weird. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is the end of Phase 4, and people still think we're in Phase 4. Some people are still like Marvel's dead. So Black Widow sucks. Shang-Chi, we're so back. Eternals sucks. Spider-Man No Way Home, we're so back. Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, yeah, awesome. And then Thor: Love and Thunder, oh no, you. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, yes. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, no. Like, this is Phase 5. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I won't fall on the sword for. I liked it, and I understand why people don't, I guess. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, beautiful. The Marvels, okay. I again not gonna fall on the sword. I enjoyed it. Um, Deadpool and Wolverine, so good. Now we got Captain America: Brave New World dropping next year in February 14th. Um, looks really good from the trailer. And then we got Thunderbolts coming out a couple months later. Um, Bucky Barnes is gonna be the main character. Hannah John Kamen is Ava Star Ghost. She's from Ant Man and the Wasp. John Walker, U.S. Agent Wyatt Russell. He played him in Yeah, he became this guy. He's the second Captain America appointed by the U.S. government. He shows up in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so he's joining their crew as that guy. Um, Julia Louis Dreyfus is Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Um, she was in Wakanda Forever, and she will be in. She was in the Disney Plus series of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't know if she's a part of it or what. Yelena's coming back. Um, David Harbour's coming back as a Red Guardian. Um, and then Olga Kurylenko, she's returning as Taskmaster. Um, Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, Harrison Ford's returning after Captain America. Lewis Pullman is playing Sentry. Really? Um, Bill Foster and Melina Vostokov. That looks exciting. Honestly, that could be fun. Phase 6 is going to be the Fantastic Four, Blade. There's 4 films in 2025. February 14th, 2025, May 5th, 2025, July 25th, and then November. Jeez, that's so much in one movie. Oh my god, that's so much. Fantastic Four is gonna be interesting. Blade's gonna be interesting. Avengers 5 and Avengers Secret Wars. In the future, we got Armor Wars. We got an untitled Spider-Man sequel, untitled Shang-Chi, and then an untitled X-Men film. I'm excited. I am. Um, you guys have a good one and take care.